According to Learn the Facts of Childhood Sexual Abuse, last updated in 2013 from the Darkness to Light website, it is highly likely that you know a child that has been or is being abused. And according to Parents for Megan's Law statistics on child sexual abuse, 1 in 3 girls and 1 in 6 boys are sexually abused before they turn 18. And up to 90% of children know their abuser. Childhood sexual abuse affects more children than you may think. Child Abuse Fact Sheet 2014 from SafeHorizons.org states that 1 in 16 children suffer from sexual abuse. I was a victim of childhood sexual abuse. My stepfather, who was there from the time I was 6 months old, was my abuser. He had 7 victims that we know of. And for each of us girls, the abuse spanned from once or twice to 6+ years. Our abuser was a monster everyone trusted. More often than not, the abuser is someone the child knows. Ways to help prevent sexual abuse from happening to your child are communicate, define the roles of everyone in your child's life, and become and stay educated. The sad reality is that childhood sexual abuse is more common than you and I would like to admit. Together, we need to learn how we can protect our children from these monsters. I believe the most important step to protect our children from childhood sexual abuse is communication. You must communicate with your child. They need to know you were there, that they can talk to you about anything and everything. Boundaries is a very important word when it comes to sexual abuse prevention. One boundary a child needs to know is their private places. Make sure they know that anything their swimsuit would cover is their private place, and no one can or needs to touch these areas. A child needs to know it's okay and they have the power to say no. They don't want to be touched in any way. They can say no, and everyone needs to respect this. Teach them the anatomical words for their private parts. These parts of their body are private, but they don't need a nickname or referring to them. They're not secret. When talking to them about sexuality, make sure that this talk is age appropriate. You don't want to overload a 6-year-old with information they're not capable of comprehending. You need to make yourself the safe person in your child's life, the one they can come to with anything and feel safe and comfortable talking to you. Communication is a stairway and prevention that never ends. You as the parent need to set boundaries and responsibilities for each and every person who comes in contact with your child on a daily basis. You need to define the roles for each and every one of them. Communicate these boundaries, responsibilities, and roles with your child and make sure they know and understand them. Set an example for your child to know that for no reason whatsoever can boundaries be crossed. Boundaries are there for a reason, to keep us safe, and we cannot alter the boundaries in any way for any reason. Finally, you need to become educated. Being educated on the subject will help you to be able to answer questions and educate your child. There are many websites, Facebook pages, and blogs available full of information for you. They each contain lots of information like statistics, studies, characteristics, and behaviors of pedophiles. It is important to learn the characteristics and behaviors of them. One site I found that has a lot of great information is parentsformeganslaw.org. If there is one site you can check out, make sure it's this one. A way to keep yourself educated is to know what programs your child's school has to teach them about sexual abuse. If your child's school doesn't do something related to childhood sexual abuse prevention, then I encourage you to speak with the school official about doing so. Becoming educated and keeping yourself educated will allow you to keep your child educated on the topic. This is a topic that should not be taken lightly. It is our job to protect our children and to bring an end to childhood sexual abuse. Defining roles and setting boundaries, communication, and becoming and staying educated are just the start of what you can do to prevent childhood sexual abuse. It's important to remember that pedophiles come from all walks of life. Just because you trust someone with your child doesn't mean you should trust that they won't take advantage of your trust in your child's innocence.